All right, people. So our last review of the day is going to be for film, and that film is Return to Silent Hill. Return to Silent Hill is an adaptation of the video game, the Silent Hill franchise. There, this specific movie is adapting Silent Hill 2 there, and this one is directed by Christophe Gans there. Christophe Gans, who's done a Silent Hill movie in the past. There, he did one in 2006. That was the one with Sean Bean in it.
Yeah.
Um, and he did that one there. That was more of like an adaptation, a little bit of what was a kind of a combination of multiple games there, a little bit more.
No, I mean it was mostly just a loose kind of reinterpretation of Silent Hill 1.
Okay.
But like very loosely reinterpreting it to the point of, like, I mean, they throw Pyramid Head in there as just a monster. Like they have the lying figures that are from the second game in that first movie as just a creature. But narratively, you can tell it's taking its cues from the first game.
Gotcha. So I have not seen that one. I'll maybe I think we should do a retro review for that one. I have not seen that one before.
There's also Silent Hill Revelations 3D, the second film, which is supposed to be is a loose reinterpretation of the third game.
Okay. And I've only out of these games, so Sage introduced me to them. I've only played the second one. So I think did I upload that to? I don't think I uploaded that to YouTube, but I did stream it there on Twitch. There playing Silent Hill 2, scared the shit out of me. But finished it there, and I loved it. It's one of my favorite horror games. I see why it's a classic. There, I thought it was really amazing. So that's like I said, what this movie is doing right here. And so what is the story? If people don't know about Silent Hill, or people don't know about this movie here, what's going on and the story it's adapting from 2. So you have a man named James Sunderland there. He gets a mysterious letter, gets one from his wife there, that's calling him to come back to the town of Silent Hill there. And he's like, well, how did I get this letter? And my wife is supposed to be dead. What's going on here? So he ends up going to Silent Hill in his very fast Mustang. He's got a Mustang in it. Nice car, a very nice car there. And he ends up going to Silent Hill, and he encounters very weird things kind of going on. These disturbing monstrous creatures there. He runs into other people that are there as well there. Even one woman that heavily resembles his long lost wife there. And he's just trying to figure out what is going on, the mystery, and can he find his missing wife there. Yeah, so that's kind of the setup you have of it. And you're a big fan of Silent Hill franchise. I also had Dusk on as well there. He reviewed it, he saw it. This is getting panned by a lot of people across there. Not even just fans who are fans of the game, but also critics as well. It was kind of one of the worst reviewed movies there in Rotten Tomatoes history, but it's bumped up now. It's at 18%. So there are some more positive stuff coming into it with that. But Sage, what are your thoughts here, man, on Return to Silent Hill?
Oh God, where do you even start? I mean, this movie is baffling. Is really the best word. It changes so many kind of fundamentals around as to what this story is that it's hard to say it's even adapting the story in a lot of places. Like it is like it seems to sort of want to borrow the aesthetics of it and sort of ideas of it, but I mean, Dusk talked about it, I think, very accurately. This director, I really don't think understands Silent Hill. It feels like Zack Snyder with like DC characters. He understands what they look like, but he doesn't really get them. This movie is almost like from in the first 30 seconds is laughable. Like the opening shot is this like unbelievably like bright and cheery, like yellow orange, sunny, beautiful looking sort of environment. And that goes on to be about like what feels like, I want to say 20-25 minutes of narrative here, of like unnecessary, like, oh, he's got to talk to his therapist, we got to show that he's also a painter, we gotta like there's like we gotta establish what his life is like. and then 20 minutes in, the shot that is literally the first shot in the game pops up.
Mm.
And usually in a adaptation, good or bad, usually when things get changed, it's so it's to make things simpler, right? To make a story less convoluted so it can fit in the movie. But what this movie seems to just choose the complete opposite and said, let's make this more complicated, more unnecessarily convoluted, more elements that lead nowhere for no reason. I truly I would love to have a conversation with the people that made this, because I do not understand what they think this game's story is about.
Mm. So you have Christophe Gaines there, who's returning. He's the director there. He also wrote this with another person named Sandra Vaughan there, and Will Schneider, who also I don't see a Wikipedia's for them, so I don't know what else they've done in the past there. Um, so yeah, and you're talking about the iconic scene when he's in the mirror, right? Where he's
Yeah, that's like 20 minutes in.
So this movie, and we're gonna do a spoiler talk on it because I got to really get into a lot of stuff and compare it to the game and how it kind of misinterprets that. And then even as a movie, even if you didn't know the game, I think that even as a movie, it's kind of confusing. Of
I would
there.
honestly think it would be more confusing.
Yeah. So the stuff with yeah, so we got to get into all that there. Um yeah, so this guy so goes there and say the opening of the show, it's very sunny, very bright and cheerful there. And then it's also this thing it does where it plays in and out of like, is it real? Is it not real? Is he
Mhm.
having like a hallucination or not? There with that, because there's scenes where he's going through Silent Hill, that he wakes up, then he's in a hospital bed in like Brookhaven, which is the hospital in Silent
Yeah.
Hill. There. Then he does another thing where it's like another kind of fake out, I guess, at the very end. Then he wakes up again and he's like, because in the beginning of the movie, he almost gets hit by a truck, a
Yep.
semi truck while he's driving. Then he wakes up again and he's back to where he was at the beginning of the movie. And then
And there was a funny shot there too, because he wakes up near the beginning and he is like actively angry at the fake out dream, which is something that I've really only seen in Nicolas Cage's The Wicker Man, where he's like angry at his own dream.
there are some other Wicker Man elements I'm going to get into.
There's a moment when I was like, am I watching The Wicker Man?
And so he does another, so I didn't know, and like even people in the theater were like, so wait a minute, does that mean it was all in his head, or is it like he's maybe made a full psychotic, or is he dead and he's in heaven? Maybe that's the thing. So we're gonna get into the ending of that.
And keep in mind too, this movie is like at least attempting to be in continuity with the other two films that have already happened. So
Mm,
when they try and do sort of your like stuff like, oh, is it real, is it not real, I'm like, well, those other movies happened, those were other characters experiencing this place, so like, yes. But
so if people don't know the game, so the character of James, he goes there, like I said, same kind of setup. He goes there looking for his wife. He gets the letter. He looks for his wife, and you let me know if I'm wrong there, being that you've.
you got it totally right so far. I just want to point out that they changed how the letter was written to in that opening to be so generic. Like the letter, both the full version at the very end of the game and that smaller piece that you hear at the beginning of the game, really beautifully written in the game. Like it's very well written. It's very sad. It's very like there's very carefully chosen words and how that letter's written. And that opening line, in my restless dreams I see that town, I asked you to take me there again someday but you never did. In the movie it's like, hey James, I'm in Silent Hill, YOLO, you should come hang out. Like it's
Yeah.
so like generic, all the word choice is completely different.
Yeah, it's just yeah, kind of like, hey, I'm in silent. If you want to pull up or not, don't. If you
It
can,
sounds more
just
like a booty call to Silent Hill than, you know.
yeah,
It also, let me point out that she is not his long-term wife that passed away. He in the movie, she is his girlfriend that he dated for a few months, which makes all of the sort of tragedy in this movie in general feel very like, "Ew, I'm 14 and I just discovered My Chemical Romance for the first time." Rather than like the poetic soul crushing tragedy that the game is.
Yeah, and the guy even looks like kinda like he belongs, like, in a band of, like, My Chemical
Yeah,
Romance. Yeah.
he. I said this to you earlier in a message, but he looks like someone that would be in like one of the how like the row houses in Rent, in the musical Rent. Like James's design is in the game the way it's the way it is because it's meant to be unassuming. You know, he's supposed to be so sort of normal and kind of plain looking that when there you get these story reveals later about what's going on, I think that's part of the way the game sort of pulls one over on you is because he seems so plain and kind of boring at first, but the guy in the movie is like you know, alcoholic partying painter. Like it just I don't know it yeah it doesn't work. It completely defeats sort of the purpose of the mental state that the character's in to have
Yeah.
him be so rough and kind of rugged.
Yeah, this is how he looks in the movie there. Like I said, it kinda looks more like an Alan Wake type kinda guy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
which is another
genuinely.
video. And this is the actor who did the modeling for him in the game there, and this
Yep.
is how he looks in the game. So this is James from the Hill 2 remake there, so they did that. So they definitely kinda toned down the guy's looks a little bit.
Yeah, they went out of their way to make him a little more boring looking.
Yeah, then
Which
yeah.
again is like that. It's there's a very big narrative tool that is serving.
So gets the letter, goes there, and he enters this town of Silent. Now, the thing about Silent Hill, to my understanding, is that it's this town that manifests your trauma there,
Yeah,
and brings it to life. And with that, each person has their own unique trauma that's revealed when they go to the town. So James has his own specific unique thing when he goes there. When you
yeah.
see the creatures in the movie, the lying figures as they call them, there's the creatures that are like only walks kind of two legs, and then they're very bent and they have no arms. That's supposed to represent something personal to him. And then also there's the nurses there as well. Then there's
And none
also
of that symbolism really feels like it's present in the film for the most part. Like,
they don't really dig into that, which is funny because in the movie, so just like the game, he walks to there's different areas in the game. Like there's the hospital sequence of the game, the prison sequence of the game, the multiple
which is
different
not in here at all, by the way.
the prison sequence is not in here. The hospital is in here. Then he does the final sequence of the game is when he goes to like a hospice
It's
place
a
there.
hotel.
Hotel. Okay, goes to a hotel there. Goes to the hotel. And then so that's present in the game there. I mean present in the movie, I think at the end there where he meets Mary.
Yeah, they do spend a little bit of time in that spot.
Yeah. So he goes there. So each thing is supposed to represent something, but here in the movie, they try to portray it like everybody can see what he's seeing, and then also interact with it as well. There,
Well, it's
um,
weird because well, like what I'll say is that it sometimes in different games it is maybe not always exactly presented the same too, because each game does kind of find its own voice and tone a little bit. So like. Just to take the Silent Hill 1 game, for example, you are playing as one character, right? But the character that the nightmares are coming from is not who you're playing as in the first game. Like it is someone else who
mm,
is sort of inflicting it on everyone around them in that game. And then in two, it's this mirror of your character's psyche, and everybody's kind of dealing with their own thing. So you know, depending on the game, there is a way to do it where it's like one person's creatures are kind of everyone is experiencing one person's trauma. That can happen, but the way that the movie does it is sort of makes it seem like there are no other characters in this film.
yeah. The way they do that, yeah, because and then he goes to the town, and then there are other people there that he meets as well along there. People like Angela, Eddie, who's also those characters are in this movie, but in a different version, different way. And that's also this little girl, Laura. Um, and then
Which
Eddie,
actually, funny enough, the Laura character is played by the same actress that played her in the remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Evie Templeton. She did the remake and then she did this movie. But what I did think was funny about that was that the like people making the movie did not know that she was playing the character in the game because
Oh,
they're just different production companies, different casting. She's not allowed to talk about one until it's almost done coming out or until the company makes a statement about it. So she made like both of these things independently. Well, she was the only one that knew she was in both of them.
oh, interesting. Okay, wow. Lucky her. Well, not, maybe not lucky her. Maybe
At least she
yeah,
got to be in the good version.
yeah. But so yeah, they go. There really isn't a reason for Eddie to be in this at all. Like he's only in one
No. Well, and I'll
sequence.
tell you right now, there is a they Christoph Gans in an interview said that there was a scene, the sort of Eddie boss fight from the game, like they did film that. And I guess maybe an extended edition will come out on Blu-ray that has this. But he did say that, or at least imply that Eddie also would have like he James would have killed Eddie in this other scene, and then it would have been revealed that Eddie was also a figment of his imagination. So
Okay, but here the version of this, there's no point for him to really be. It's like if you're gonna cut that out, the boss fight, I guess you might as well just cut him out
yeah,
entirely. Really, I mean,
he's just there to literally for him to be like, "Hey, James, it's a crazy place you're in."
yeah.
That's
I mean, is
about it.
it? And then also this, he brings up a thing where it kind of again it shifts from the game, where it seems like this town, it's kind of like I guess poisoning people in a way, like more in like a
Yeah,
physical way, not really a mental way. Like there's something like in the water or something in the like the environment, I guess, is like doing that.
yeah. So I can explain where the idea is coming from. In the first Silent Hill, there's a character named Michael Kaufman. He's a doctor in the town. He's like one of the like humans you actually interact with in Silent Hill 1. And he is also like basically responsible for all this like illegal drugs like being on the streets of the town that caused some of its financial collapse. And there's like there's another character who's like addicted to the drugs that they sell, and but the drug it is also part of the occult ritual. This drug actually makes an appearance in Silent Hill F even. um, and so there's this the idea that the cult has this drug that it uses in its like rituals and stuff. That is a thing, but in the movie they have made it so that Mary is like a character is like part of this cult and like is from the town Silent Hill.
Hmm.
In the story of Silent Hill 2, the game, James and Mary are not from Silent Hill, or neither of them are. They just went on vacation to this place once.
Yeah.
That's it. They're not from this place. They did not live in this place. In this Silent Hills, Flint, Michigan. Well, you know what? We're getting closer there every day, right? But it just it's this weird thing where they try and force sort of the cult story of Silent Hill like 1 and 3 into this movie, which again, like I said earlier, it's like they're overcomplicating it. They're making it more convoluted. They're adding more elements. Like Dusk said something in the other review that he did the other day that I thought was very accurate in just that like you could just kind of edit the cutscenes of the game down to like a 2.5 hour like video, and you could get a coherent narrative from that. So
Hmm.
why you are adding these elements that are not in the game and in making it like there's more threads that we have to worry about, like I don't understand that logic, because again, usually an adaptation changes things to simplify, not to make it more complicated.
So I'm seeing right now. So if you took all the cutscenes and just looked at all the cutscenes, that's 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you did that,
Yeah,
uh, so
it,
you
it,
know,
it'd be a long movie, but like, and you in an actual adaptation, I'm sure you could make it even a little bit shorter than that. But like, I think that length proves that you could tell the same story without really making a bunch of these weird choices.
so yeah, Eddie, he's really superfluous. He doesn't really
He
seem
does
like he
beat the shit out of James, though.
does beat the shit out of him, and yeah, that's about it. And then you never see him again after that. But so there's that. Then you also have Angela, which they do this weird thing with Angela there. So in the character in the game, she's this woman there who's had, again, she's there for Silent Hill because of all this trauma there, and that's manifesting in ways. And then they try to also bring you. It's funny you mentioned the boss battle with Eddie, but they try to bring other boss battles
Oh, that
there
was
into,
so weird.
and they do one with, there's a certain boss battle with her that happens. That's a manifestation of her trauma. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think you see it for kind of a little of a brief moment. It's slightly disturbing, I think a little bit there. It's slightly weird. It's a different look than what it looks like in the game, but it's, what did you think about that and how they kind of try to incorporate some of those kind of boss battles in the movie?
I mean, like, I'll agree that the effect doesn't look as bad as it could, but it is so devoid of meaning and context that it doesn't feel like, to me it loses all of its disturbing nature because it doesn't feel like it means anything in the context of this movie. It feels like they're just showing it to show it.
And the other person that he meets in Silent Hill, there's other two people who have Laura, who, like I said, is the same actress there, Evie Templeton.
Which who they
There's
do kind of the same thing they do with Angela too here with Laura.
Which is yeah, they do the same thing. We're gonna get into that with that. But they do the same thing. So she's supposed to be somebody that's, to my knowledge, like when playing the game, that's very childlike. So she doesn't really have any trauma. So she's not really seeing the things that the other adults are seeing in Silent Hill. To my knowledge, am I correct
Yeah.
playing the game?
Well, and, yeah, no, you're correct, and not only that, but like Silent Hill, it occupies this very sort of David Lynch dream logic space, right? And in these stories, it's like there's multiple layers of reality on top of each other. So when you play Silent Hill 2, you know, there is a layer of reality above even just the fog world that you spend a good portion of the game in at the beginning. There's another layer of reality that is sort of the real world where the town is functioning and there are people there. It's not an abandoned town, right? Which is something that they went out of their way to say it was an abandoned town in that first movie. And so they're sticking with that here because they made it what it was in the film version. But in the games, it's not abandoned. Like there are people there. It is multiple layers of reality, and it is people are sinking into these sort of layers of and different sort of experiences. But there's like a real functioning town at the top layer of this still.
Mm.
No matter how destroyed it all looks, that is a reflection of the mind of these people, not what the place actually truly looks like. Um, and so, so the way that they do it, though, it is just an abandoned town, like
Mm.
in the film, like it. And then but then that is also where even the movie is inconsistent within its own logic because they're picking up off of it being an abandoned town from the other movies, but then also they want to have you question whether things are real and maybe these things are figments of his imagination. But like based because it's a sequel, it definitively isn't that. So I don't know why they're trying to be like, ooh, oh, is it maybe it's not real. It's like, no, we know. We already know. This is like the third film in a trilogy where you have established that this is happening.
Mm. So yeah, the stuff with, yeah, Laura there. So yeah, that was in, like I said, because I didn't see the other two movies, so I didn't know they established like it's like an abandoned town and all that. So
Yeah,
how
basically,
much
well,
it connects to the other ones.
in the first movie they do this thing. This is a real town. It's in Pennsylvania. It's called Centralia, and it is abandoned. There was, I forget exactly the explanation of how, but there's like a fire that can't go out under like the town, and it is like you can't live there because there is like poisonous gas. And so the original film has this aesthetic of like ash always falling from the sky, and that is a misinterpretation because it happens to be winter in Silent Hill 1. So it's in the original PlayStation 1 game, it's snowing. So there's little flecks coming down.
Mm.
In that first movie, they misinterpreted that as, oh, it's like, oh, this town Centralia, there's this fire, so there's ash coming out of the sky. So this movie also feels like it gets the basic aesthetic of what the town looks like wrong to me because it's going off of this misinterpretation of what Silent Hill 1 looks like, where they mistook the snow for ash. But in Silent Hill 2, it's not winter. it's like fall or something like that. So it's got this totally different look and vibe to it. Silent Hill 2 does not have the nearly as much of the it's never ending trash fire. It's a real life version of that Simpsons episode where Homer became mayor, but with more fire. Yeah, that's 100% accurate. And so because that's the aesthetic they go with in the movie, it's like it looks fully like the hellish, bloody, rusty look of Silent Hill 1 and 3. But Silent Hill 2 has this more kind of drab, gray, like even some blues sort of in the color scheme aesthetic to it. And it can get some of that rusty metal look too at times, but it does have this more sort of gray, drab, melancholy vibe than the outright like fire and brimstone and hell. And that's very Silent Hill 1. And so to me, this movie, because it wants to uh, be a continuation of these other films, it doesn't even really capture the aesthetic of Silent Hill 2. It's trying to capture the aesthetic of Silent Hill 1.
So you see, this is the game right here. You see, like kind of like a fog that's kind of in here, very kind of muted a little bit colors there, a little bit there with it. But yeah, so that's kind of the problem there, also with it of them trying to do that. And then if you have Maria that also comes in here as well. And the actress who plays Maria in this, let's see, and her name is Emily Anderson. Emily Anderson there. Um, and then there's something important about her character that is supposed to be also in the game. They try to do it for the movie too, but they do it to a lot of characters. They go like, "Oh, maybe that's a good idea. Let's apply it to everybody." I
Well,
guess.
and it's very lazy the way they do it as well, because in the game, James meets Maria, and when he first meets her, he's like, "Oh my!" He thinks for a second he thinks it's Mary, right? And then and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "My, you look like my late wife. Uh, just your hair and clothes are different. You look so similar." In the movie, he doesn't comment on it at all. And then, like, 2/3 of the way through the film, there's a scene where she grabs his hand and goes, "I look just like her, right?"
Yeah, I mean, she's not very. I mean, seductive in this is very much
Not
there and
even a little bit.
very not very convincing. Like he wouldn't be convinced, like, man, I wanna stay here and be with them. I'm willing to give it up.
Maria
And
in the
do
game is very sort of she can be kind of creepy, like you don't know what she's thinking. She swings between these moods very wildly. Like she is unsettling in her own kind of unique, weird way. And the movie, she's just like, "Hey, what's up? Can I come with?" Yeah, oh,
yeah.
I look like your wife, right? Or again, in the movie, just girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is her in the game right here, that you have there. I think there's moments, I mean, you said you didn't really hear it, but I think there's moments where she kind of sounds like the voice actress from the game there. I think there's kind of moments there, but you say you didn't really hear it there with it.
I didn't really feel it, but fair enough.
So yeah, that's what you kind of got going on. So I think, I know we're talking about the game a lot and how it compares to the game, but I think even as a movie, there's just structurally, I think it doesn't work even then because there's so many confusing things and fake outs and, trying to, do one ups on the audience, like, oh, is this real? Is it not real? And playing
Way
with
too many
that.
flashbacks too.
Way too many flash. I guess they were trying to do like
There's no flashbacks in the game, by the way.
I guess they would try my only guess for what they were trying to do there is, like, when he walks into these different areas, they're trying to, like, set it up, and they're trying to, like, but again, this a lot of it is based on the fact that they're saying in the movie he lived here before. He lived here with her
Yeah, he
before.
lives here, and I mean, and
Um,
the game does sort of replicate some environments that they would have spent time in a similar type of place, and so you see some parallels. But it's in the game, it's a thing where it's all suggested through the visuals, and it's up to you as the player to sort of go, "Oh, I wonder." I wonder. Oh, this particular apartment where you meet Pyramid Head for the first time. I wonder if this is kind of what their apartment might have looked like because of the setting. But it's all implied. It's all up for you to interpret the symbolism of. It's not like in the movie. It's just like he walks into a room and then it flashbacks to him in that room in the flashback, and it's like, and there's no subtlety. It's like not only do they make it more convoluted, by adding these extra elements in, they also stop and just have like bad expository dialogue that just explains to your face, this is what this means, or this is what this would represent. Like there's nothing left up to interpretation.
Uh, and then I think, yeah, and then especially when they do one scene where one character talks about somebody's father, and they went like, his father was an important person, and they created the town, and he was great, and we all loved him, and everything like that. And it's just like, oh, that's really bad. Like this, yeah, the expository dialogue is really really bad in here. What they do a lot of that.
And if it's not exposition, a lot of the dialogue is James just going like, huh? What? Like, and there's a lot of him just doing that.
And it's a lot of him also, like, grabbing his head and kinda getting headaches and screaming and kinda again, like, it's trying, I guess, portray, like, the psychotic breaks in him blending, like, reality from, this kinda dream logic type world there, and it's even some scenes where he kinda turns into, kind of like it's Inception type shit where he like, his thing comes, he can touch the ground and stuff comes out of his hands and it kind of goes all around there, or,
Yeah.
all of a sudden he can go like, oh, I can control it now. Like he's got the shining where he can like summon people and then they can come around and then kill other people for him.
Yeah,
Uh
that scene is woo boy.
so you got that. And then yeah, they bring in like a therapist character here as well. He's trying to call and
Who is also like very clearly one of the people in the cult in all the flashbacks, but yet the movie never seems to bring that back around or acknowledge it.
really? Oh, okay, I didn't notice
Yeah,
that
she
one.
was she was like very clear, like one of the people in all the flashbacks that was at like all the cult activity, like every single time they like cut to that was like, and
Mm.
they just never came up whether that mattered or not.
Okay, interesting. Um, yeah, so yeah, that was kind of weird. The effects of the movie, they look really bad, especially this. I think you see in the trailers one scene he's running through fire, and this budget on this reportedly is like 20 million or so. But that looks like really, really, really bad.
Bad green screen, and like I'll give the first Silent Hill movie, even though I think it messes up like what the story of that first game is. I will say that first film, I think aesthetically it does get some things right, like it, like the look of the town, and it feels like it's all pretty practical in that first movie. So like it at least aesthetically that first movie holds up at least decently well. But there's so much CG and green screen here, and it just, ooh, it looks messy. It looks so messy. And there's just they just do weird stuff too. Like there's another enemy type in the game that's these little bugs, like big cockroach looking things. And
Yeah.
in the movie they like have like swarms of them trying to like get him. And then they'll like press up against the glass like a woman at like a prisoner's like phone call booth, and they're just like rubbing themselves on the glass. It's just very weird. I didn't get what they were trying to do there.
I think the only best creature kind of thing, and this not even really a creature, was the nurses. That's because that's
And the
actual
nurses look
people.
good.
Yeah.
And but the thing is they already did that effect in the first movie,
Yeah.
which and exactly the same design too. Which, and again, it's like the symbolism's all lost because these nurses in this context, these nurses are just a Silent Hill monster. They have
Mm.
nothing to do with James' repressed sexuality and frustration and lust towards the nurses in the hospital while his wife was sick. Because in the first movie, the 8-year-old girl was conjuring up these sexy nurses to begin with. So it's just this is already a thing.
Yeah. I don't, did they also have dancers for this one too?
I think they did, yeah.
Okay. I think they move kind of better in this Return to Silent Hill. I think maybe looking at this one, I think they move a little bit
Yeah.
better. Um,
Well, and I'll say too, in the first game there are nurse enemy types, but they're very different looking. They don't have busty like cleavage or like high heels. They have like a different design based on the fact that the nightmares are coming from a young girl.
hmm. So yeah, that bad green screen, bad kind of effects there.
And they just make up some new creatures and throw them in there that have nothing to
There's
do
like
with
a
anything.
spider creature that kind of like a mannequin that turns into like a spider
Yeah,
woman.
and then there's like a sort of a representation of Mary that is like a big creature in like a cage that you fight in the game But here it's like got 4 arms, like it's Goro, and like it has like a spawn cape for some reason.
Yeah, it looks like kinda like Vecna from she looks like Vecna from Stranger Things or something.
When I saw it, I thought like, oh, that looks like a villain from like Buffy, like the
Yeah, it
old
did
like
kinda look
cheesy
like
makeup.
yeah, it looked like, one of that creature they did when they did that Silent episode,
Yeah, the gentleman.
yeah. So yeah, that was thing again, they try to bring it in there's not really any action here, like, like, the game doesn't I'm not saying the game has a lot of action in it, I mean, there's boss fights in it and stuff like that, and he has, like, a gun, but it's not really an action-heavy game, it's more horror and everything like that. He throws a pipe
Yeah,
at well, and then he hits some of the nurses with a pipe.
yeah.
Um,
Which
uh
were like way too easy. Like 1,000 nurses come at him, and he's just like one hit, one hit, one hit, one hit. Their heads are exploding, and I'm like,
yeah.
you fight like 2, 3 nurses in the game, and you're like overwhelmed. Like it's like they're tough enemies. So the fact that he was just kind of swinging through them so easily was like, okay, that's a choice.
Yeah, cause yeah, this is yeah, it's like he's about to get on the elevator, he's trying to hit the button, he's like, "Okay, I gotta go up," and then he's like, "Okay, I gotta," I can't get the button there. I thought he was about to do some old boy shit. I thought he was about to go in there and do some, like, with a hammer or something. It's like, no, he's just swinging, you know what I mean? Okay, all right. And yeah, he's knocking all these nurses, and for some reason, he's able even with these are like 50 something nurses there,
Yeah,
he's able to get on the elevator and able to go back up, but then they portray the nurses as if they're like made of clay or something like kind of like
yeah.
that or something like porcelain or something where you can easily like break them or something like that if you punch them one of them hard
Like
enough.
when he hits them, they're like shards of their head go flying like a piece of like clay, literally.
Yeah. So you kind of got that, but yeah, that was the thing. But I I'm struggling to really name something I like about I mean like besides the nurses, I mean that kind of worked. But they're only in like one scene in it. That's it. They just have one scene with them.
And they
Um
don't mean anything either. Like they're there just to be there.
They're just kinda just there to be there. It's like, "Oh, okay, we gotta put them in because it's, you know, people wanna see them. That's it." There's Pyramid Head who shows up, and then there's something they do with him
Do we
that
want
is
to spoil that now, or do we want to wait?
I'll let you give you a rating and then, yeah,
Okay.
we'll spoil it there. But then that's a mess. And so I don't so even if let's say you don't even care about the game. You don't care about Silent Hill 2. You just want to see a good movie. I don't even think it's not even a good movie because the performances aren't good, the effects aren't good. What they try to do in far as interpreting the story of the game and trying to do the psychological thing and like even if you didn't even know the game, that doesn't even work on that level either because you don't know exactly like again the creatures have a purpose and here it just doesn't seem like these things have a purpose other than it's supposed to be a scary town with scary monsters and then there's nothing there with that and that element and then they put things right so on the nose with like the pyramid head figure with him and what that reveal is that it doesn't really kind of leave much up to interpretation there and then with the whole, ending of like all these multiple fake outs of him waking up from dreams and waking back up from another dream and landing up somewhere else, it's like, what the fuck is this? And then that ending, and leaving people in my theater going, huh? Like, wait, what? Even with that, it's like, so what was that about? Like that's not a good sign. So for me, I would just kind of give it uh, I give it a waste of film. I give it a waste of
There we go.
I
There
don't
we
even
go.
think I don't even think it's, like, fun bad. Like, War of the Worlds is kinda fun bad. Like, you can watch that and kinda laugh at it. This one, I don't think there's really anything enjoyable about this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Michael watching it with me, he got a kick out of how angry I was at the movie. So he was really enjoying himself.
Well, hey, well, watch it with you then. Maybe this will be, watch it with Say. You should do that. Pay people to watch it with you to get some enjoyment there. What about you? What would be your final thoughts rating before we move into spoilers?
Oh, good man. I know, absolute waste of fucking film. This movie is insultingly bad. Like they make even divorced from the context of the game itself, it is just kind of a baffling confusing movie. Like I don't think you would really walk away from this and be able to tell someone like what that story even was about because and it's because the meaning just was stripped out of it. It made so many changes and didn't use any of its devices that again, it's like the thing. It's like you already have the story. You just have to not fuck it up. Like it already exists. You just translate it, and it doesn't seem like they were interested in translating or even really understanding what it was. Yeah, absolute waste of fucking film.
So two waste of fucking films. Four Return to Silent Hill. There. So getting into spoilers, so people don't want to know, you can tune out and come back in there. So the most egregious thing is, I think, what they do with the actress Hannah Emily, what's her name, Anderson.
Mm,
There. So what they do with her is they have her play 3 characters there,
yep.
and then kind of almost 4 characters in a way.
Yep.
And so in the game, she's supposed to be, there's Mary and Maria. So that's
Yep.
supposed to be 2 of the same person,
Yep.
right? So that serves a purpose that, Maria is supposed to look like Mary because, it's a more sexified version of his well, in the game, it's his wife. Here it's his girlfriend, and he's supposed to, it's supposed to be kind of guilty for him of like how he wishes, his wife was maybe at some times. So that is supposed to be the same person. But then Angela in the game, who's completely unrelated to James,
Yeah, she's
and
going
who,
through her own Silent Hill.
yeah, she's going through her own thing. Hannah Emily Anderson also plays Angela as well. And did you know that was her when you first saw like Angela pop
I
up?
knew it before the game or before seeing the movie, so I
Oh,
just
okay.
I knew going in. But they I mean they like, the big thing in the game is Angela, has suffered abuse at the hands of her father. And in the film, their way of going like, well, that's Mary too, is to be like, well, Mary grew up in Silent Hill and was part of the cult, and her father was the cult leader, and so she's also Angela's backstory. And it's like, why are we folding Angela? Like that's her own character with her own arc. And Eddie, and again, they cut that scene out, but in that interview, he said Eddie also would have been revealed to have been a figment of James' imagination. So Eddie also wouldn't have been real if we had that other scene in the film. Um,
That's
but they just,
Emily Anderson too. She's Andy. She put on a
she was also
she
Eddie.
Eddie. She put on a fat suit, beard.
But what it really makes you just facepalm and just like exasperatedly just sigh is when the therapist character is like, James, it's time to remember what Mary's real full name is, and it cuts to a tombstone that says Mary Angela Laura Crane. It's just
Yeah.
like, really, that's a cast list of the entire cast of the story of Silent Hill 2, and that's one person.
That was the most laugh out loud moment I find. Like the tombstone moment. It's kind of like the moment in Dark Knight Rises where it's like you should use your real name, and it's like it gives it to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's like, oh, Robin something. That's
That
like,
is like Shakespearean writing compared to this.
yeah. So she's Angela, and she's also Laura. So I guess Laura in this is supposed to be her as a little girl.
Yeah, carrying around a mutant baby for some reason the entire time.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, because in the game, I think she just carries like a stuffed animal. It's
Yeah,
like,
she had a stuffed animal with her, and again in the game, and Laura's a real girl that was friends with Mary in the hospital, and in the game she's not seeing all this stuff going on really in Silent Hill. I believe she's seeing like the real town that actually has people in it. So like from Laura's perspective, that in that game, she's like going into the hospital and she's seeing staff walking around. It's not
mm,
abandoned to her. So she doesn't get when James is like, oh, this place is dangerous. She doesn't even understand what he's talking about. And here she's just like as creepy movie kid as you could possibly get with like, she she looks like a Tim Burton like animated character with like the makeup around her eyes and how pale she is. And she's like a very normal looking kid in the game.
yeah, like here she is right here. Yeah, like very Tim Burton esque, like some other like a Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that. Like, yeah, kind of very sunken eyes and everything like that. And yeah, in the game, she does, yeah,
And then like, why is she carrying a mutant baby around the whole
I
time?
guess since they folded the Angela thing, is that supposed to mean she got maybe pregnant maybe at one point, and
Maybe,
then
maybe.
she had her father's kid, I guess maybe. But yeah, she's saying kind of creepy stuff there. So that was the thing. So Mary grew up in this town, Silent Hill. There's a cult in this town. I mean, it seems like it would be a good thing to tell him before,
Right.
had him move there. I don't know. She could have
Okay,
dropped that
here's a
information.
question. Can you answer this for me? The opening of the movie where they have their meet cute at the beginning. She's trying to get on a bus to leave Silent Hill, like to run away, and
Yeah.
then he accidentally hits her luggage and she misses her bus. So why does it seem to be that they just like were like, oh well, let me drive you back to the place that you were running away from? Like, why didn't they get in the car and then leave? I don't understand why they got in the car and then he's like, well, I'll move here.
Yeah. Like, yeah, why not just say like, "Hey, just drive me somewhere else."
Yeah,
And then also the bus, she could have just gotten on the bus. Like the bus was waiting for her.
yeah. She was like, oh, just go. It'll take me a million years to get this luggage off the ground.
Like, and she's also got some goddamn like cartoon ass luggage like who has luggage like that? Like with
Yeah.
no wheels or no handle on it really? Like who's that's like luggage from like the 90s. Who the fuck still got luggage like that? Um but so yeah, that was the thing. Like that was weird. Like the bus comes and then she's just waving it off. Like it only would take like a few minutes. Like not even a few minutes, like a
No, like
2 minute,
a minute.
like a minute to just clean up all the stuff. Like she only got like a 5 shirts in that suitcase, stuff it in there, and then get on the bus. But okay, so let the bus pass. Then they drive back to Silent Hill, the town that she was severely abused in.
It
And she
was
wants
like
to
in the middle of running away.
in the middle of running away. That was weird. But yeah, so that's kind of the big thing is that she was part of the cult in this town with all these weird cult members there. Her father was the cult leader. He died. And then now they all kind of, I guess, praise her or worship her now. And she learns that the reason that she dies because Mary in the game, the whole reveal in the game is that she's already dead. That he's
In
going.
the game, they tell you immediately, my wife died 3 years ago. And then it's weird that I got this letter because she's dead. In the
Yeah,
movie, they don't even say she's dead until like halfway through. Almost that like her being dead in the movie is itself supposed to be a twist. But you start the game knowing she's dead.
You do start, yeah, you do start the game knowing she's dead, and then so once you get this letter, yeah, it's like a mystery. It's like, well, why am I getting this letter? My wife's dead, everything like that. And then when you learn the big reveal of what happened, that his wife is in the trunk of his car, and that like he had this psychotic break when he killed her, and then that's another thing they mess up here is that she begs him to kill her,
Yeah.
like he doesn't do it himself there,
Yeah.
and the reason she was dying was because she was poisoned by her father all
Yeah.
these years, ever since I guess she was a little girl, I guess.
It's like the drug the cult takes. Which again, like they do have this drug in the original game and stuff, but it's not like it doesn't cause like blood cancer if you take it for 30 years like it seems to imply in the film. In the in the game they never specify to what her illness was. She had a naturally occurring illness, and after years of hospice care and sort of psychologically being broken down over time and resentment and all these complex feelings, he murders her, and then has a psychotic break over it, and there's a lot of mixed emotions going in. An aspect of it in the game is genuinely mercy. It's like it's a shade of it, but it's this complex thing. It's like there's a lot of different emotions at the same time, and in the movie all of that moral complexity is just stripped away, and it's
Hmm.
just she was dying anyway. She begs him to kill her, and he's even like, no, I can't do it, I can't do it, with the worst looking fake beard you have
Oh, yeah.
ever seen in any movie. Like you can see where it is stickered onto his damn face, and he's trying to cry and be like, I can't do it, I can't do that to you, and she's like, please, please, I can't go on. And so he puts her out of her, there you go. So he puts her out of her misery, and then yeah, the whole, he's sad about it, but like there's no wrath or resentment in the action like there is in the game. Like it's so, there's so many shades to it, and it's like not clear how good or bad of a person he is, and so there's this sort of like, well, how does the game doesn't tell you morally how to feel about it, and I think that's one of the things that makes the story in the game so great.
Hmm.
It gives you this circumstance that happened, and it was this very normal person through extreme circumstances broke down and allowed an evil action to come from him. But that's sort of in that Eastern sort of philosophy way of thinking of like, well, James isn't himself evil. he committed an evil act, but it's about all of these emotions that are the roots of evil that then grew and festered and it became an evil act. And in the movie, it's just like, nope, throw all that away. He's a good guy. He's just real sad about this thing that happened. And it's like, what are you talking about? What are we doing here? There is no point to the story.
Ulysses said he looks like someone gave him half an old planet of the Apes mask there.
It does. It
It does
totally
look like
does.
there's strings attached to it. Like you can see like where like when you go to Party City and get the strings there. Um so he removes the kind of like I said complexity of that moment and the seriousness of it of like the choice of what he's doing and like all the different feelings that go into the choice he made because of that of her basically saying yes kill me there so it again misses the fundamental of that action. So again Christophe Gaines is like how much has he really done with research has he done with this series and this franchise
I mean, that's the
there.
thing is like he claims to be this big fan that's he plays these games and he's like a diehard fan and he loves them so much. And I'm like, but I get, I think it might be like Zack Snyder with the DC characters. I think he loves what these games look like, but I am not convinced he actually understands what's happening or what they're actually about.
Mm, yeah. So I'd love to see an interview with him of like him talking about it of like what's your thinking there with that. So that was also another really super egregious thing they did. The stuff
And
where she's
then
taking
there's
oh,
there's that whole bit at the end, like right after that scene too, where it seems like he just sort of time travels and then fixes the situation and has a happy ending.
that's the other yeah, that's when I talk about the multiple fake outs. Like
Yeah,
there's the one fake out where he wakes up in Brookhaven Hospital, which is like looks like okay, he's actually in like the real city, like he's in the like city of Silent Hill, the more
yeah,
like not in the layer anymore. Then there's like another fake out that happens. So because that fake out happens when he drives his car into the lake with her, I think, well, presumably her in the passenger seat.
yeah,
And then he wakes up again, and then that's the scene where it is the beginning of the movie again, where he's in the
yeah,
car and he's driving to Silent Hill or driving past Silent Hill,
yeah.
and then he meets her for the first time. So what did you interpret that to be there? Well, like what like
Time travel. I don't know
time
how else. I don't know how else you even look at that because not only is it because it would be one thing is it could be like a time loop sort of thing, like oh he's purgatory, he's going to repeat these events over and over, which is even a fan theory of the games too of what Silent Hill 2 as a story is in the game. Um, but here when he goes back to that scene at the end, then everything things start playing out differently, right? He meets her and then when they're like about to get in the car at the actual beginning of the movie, like this crazy Silent Hill storm starts coming over and it's like, oh, this ominous sign of like how their future's not going to go well. But then at the end, it's like that doesn't happen. And he even pauses like he's expecting the storm. He's like, huh, smooth sailing from here on out, man. And they like get in the kind of like convertible and it's like rock music and this driving into the sun. Like,
the only explanation I can think is like he just probably just died, and I guess that he went to his own heaven. Maybe I guess that's the only explanation I can offer. And then
it's better than I can explain.
like he ended up ending his own life with her after he realized the truth, and then he just was like, okay, well, then after that he does the thing, and then that's when he ends up his own personal life. That's the only best explanation I can think of what happens there. Um, yeah. So her being part of a cult, she drinks this poison. Um, so does the poison make like blood come out of her or something? Is that what it is? And they're licking the blood off of her or what?
That's what I saw. I
Okay.
don't know what's going on there. Like in the games, the drug that they take it with the cult, it's sort of meant to make it easier to kind of pass into the membrane, like from the real sort of concrete real world into that Silent Hill fog world a little bit, and sort of have it sort of makes someone sort of tap into it a little bit more easily able to see that layer of reality. But there's no like, oh, you take this a bunch and develop this long-term illness, like that's not a part of it at all.
Mm, yeah. Um, so yeah, it's just incredible a mess all around of what it was doing there. And then like them doing like these try to interpret the boss battles in it. Like they try to do the one with lore where she kind of lures you someplace and she like closes the door, like she kind of runs out the room. And it's like the sequence where it's like the bed is above you.
Mhm.
And then that sequence in the game, they try to do that. And then it
That was weird because, like, in the game, it's like a thing in a cage, and it's got its feet are hanging out, and it's got like a mouth that like screams at you. And then here, it's like it's kind of just a giant bag on the ceiling, and
yeah,
then it
like a
like slowly opens up, and it's like the four-armed, just spawn caped like Mary monster thing, and it's like okay. I mean, part of the thing in the game is that the flesh lips boss fight in that sequence is supposed to sort of represent that caged Mary creature, but it's early enough in the game that he's still kind of not acknowledging what happened. So that's why you can't fully see its body. You just see the feet and the mouth on it. And then later, Mary's monster thing is like, or Maria is in like a cage in the same way, but you can see more of what she is. Whereas here, it's just here, bag opens up, it's the Mary monster. It's like it's just another example of like them going like, yeah, subtlety, fuck that. Like we don't need any of that. Like it's just show it. Show it's just the thing is just show it what it is.
And I'm trying to see if I can give an example here, of what it kinda was. This really isn't it too much, but it kinda shows you what she looks like in it, and why that was kinda so weird, but it's like, this is what she looks like right here. Like, it's
Also,
kind of
James can fly.
I mean,
James
I guess
flies now.
I mean, it's his world, I guess we're just living in it, man. It's like Inception. He can just
Doesn't
do
that look
any
like Spawn's cape from like the '90s movie?
it does look like Spawn's cave, yeah. And yeah, that's what she kinda looks like, yeah, like this just kinda creature,
It looks
yeah.
like a be like a Buffy makeup, like or something. Again, I don't know why she has four arms. I don't know why she has a Spawn cape. I don't understand why this is what Mary. Yeah, I really don't get it. I really don't get it at all.
Yeah, I don't know what they were going for with that. And I guess is this supposed to be like I guess this is supposed to be like when you fight the final boss in the game
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with
But they
that
don't
one.
even do the thing where he like climbs up the staircase like to get to that last area too, which again, the symbolism of the ascent, right? Like the descent and ascent of like conquering sort of your inner soul and demons and stuff is represented by that physical movement. And here it's like, yes, he goes onto a rooftop for that scene to happen, but it's not after like this ascended sort of climb. It just is like he just kind of walks into a room and he's like, ah, I'm on a roof now.
Hmm. Um yeah. But I mean, hey, at least hey, I saw it. Definitely be on the list there for worst of 2026. I think it yeah. Starting off
I
things right.
I think that there's she's like a Baldur's game. I could see that. I could see for sure there being a worse film this year. Like you said, that the director of
War
uh,
of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds is doing another movie, so yeah, that could be worse. But I honestly think that there's a good chance that this is the movie I hate the most from this year.
Hmm. That's a tough one. It'll be a tough one to see one worse than this one. Yeah, like interesting how see how rest of the year plays out. But this one for sure is number one right now, for me. So yeah, two
Abysmal.
waste of films for Return to Silent Hill. Is there another one on the horizon?
Another
Is he
Silent Hill
planning?
movie? God, I
Yeah,
hope not.
planning another one.
I
Uh,
don't think so as of right now, but I mean, this movie's only made like $2 million at the box office for like the whole weekend.
I think right now. Oh, it says right here, right now, 19.3 right now.
Really, is that domestic or world or is that international?
Let me see what it is there, but Silent Hill Ascension, the movie.
We
Uh,
don't really need any Silent Hill Ascension.
I asked Dust this. So do you think it just should be like maybe like a TV show? Or do you think it could work as a movie or?
Well, you know what? There is a really great Silent Hill TV show that already happened. It was called The Haunting of Hill House, and Mike Flanagan did it on Netflix in 2018. That's a really great Silent Hill. The thing is that I think there's already things that are evocative of a Silent Hill narrative that you don't need a direct adaptation because there already are Jacob's Ladder. Um,
Mm,
Jacob's Ladder is the best Silent Hill movie that you could ever have.
mm. So it says here. Do, 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 do. So I'm looking at Box Office Mojo, and it's saying 3 million, but then I look at maybe this article and it says cumulative is 19.3 million.
I'm guessing that must be domestic versus international.
And I mean, this one breaks it down domestic and international here.
Hmm.
So domestic, this says it's made 3 million, but then here it says international $566,000. But then this
Interesting.
article here says the cumulative was 19.3. Maybe I'm missing something here. Film globally, according to ComScore.
Huh.
I've never
Interesting.
heard of ComScore before. Huh. So I don't know what the disconnect is there, but
Yeah, that's
uh,
odd.
yeah, so but yeah.
Well, I hope it bombs as hard as it possibly can. They do not make another one of these movies. Keep the games coming. Games, 2 great games in a row. Keep that coming, but let's stop. Let's just stop. Stop. Get some stuff.